Go live. Go live. Shall we go live? Yes, let's go live. This is me, live. For now, at the start of a new Sabsang, a new infinite creativity Sabsang. What does that mean? It means that I talk about creativity with you, and I think that our creativity is infinite. Our potential to be creative is infinite. I also believe that being creative on a regular basis is a wonderful way to lead an enriching, a worthwhile and a generous life. Because for me, creating, when you create something, anything, and it's only for me, when you create something, it's not complete until it's been shared. For me, the sharing is the second half of the creativity, the second half of it's the completion of the cycle. The cycle is creating and sharing. In fact, it's a three-part cycle that I've invented, which I've called the creativity cycle. And it involves learning, creating based on what you've learned and what you've mixed up in your own head with all your own experiences. Once you've created something, you share it. And out it goes into the big wide world. And what happens once your little baby, like this, for example, has been, it's a creation. Well, I mean, I didn't create the cardboard, but I did paint it. So it was this colour before, and now it's this colour. So it's a creation. What happens with your little creation once you've created it? Does it just sit in your living room or in your bedroom, or get stuck on the wall, or thrown in the bin, or tidied away somewhere with other papers? Well, for me, that's not what creations are for. And they can be for you if that's your thing, If you're one of these writing your thoughts down, getting your angst out into poems, which then go into your secret drawer under lock and key, that's fine, of course it is. But for me, creativity is about creating stuff and getting it out there. In other words, sharing emotions. That's what creativity is about, for me. And I'm guessing that's what it's for a lot of you here too, because either watching on the replay. Hello, replay people. Do say hello. Hello, live people. You might even be alive if you're watching the replay. I hope so, but you know what I mean. So I'm guessing that a lot of the people in my circles really want to get their creativity out there, and I'm also guessing, it's not necessarily true, but most of the people that I know that want to get their creative stuff out there is because they want to influence others in a positive way as they see it. They want others to lead happier lives. It's as simple as that. Hopefully through their creations, and it comes back. Whatever we've shared with others, hopefully will inspire others to create. They'll share back with us, and we all live happily ever after in this big, lovely bubble of creativity. So someone is saying hello. Hello, 𝗏𝗏. Hello, 𝗏𝗏. How are you? I hope you're okay in sunny Greece. I imagine it's really hot and sunny right now in Greece. It always is, isn't it? Even in the middle of the night. And Sana. Hello, Sana. I can never remember where you are, Sana, but you can tell me. With Edlund, it sounds like you're from Sweden or something, but I've got a feeling you're in the States. So hello. So this is my very relaxed sharing and discussing of creativity on a Sunday evening. And I've decided to make it not just about creativity, but also about productivity. It's kind of artificial. I know creativity includes producing the stuff normally, because creating means producing stuff. But I find that for a lot of people, especially creative people, they have lots of ideas and they just can't get them out there, or nothing like as many of their ideas out of their heads and into the world as they would like. So I've adopted two words, although creativity is my number one word. What about you? You guys, tell me in the chat, what is your number one word which kind of represents what you do? If you've got one, obviously there's more than one, but if you had to choose one, what would it be? Mine's creativity. From Sweden, says Sana, you see, Edlund. I'm sure you're extremely tall and extremely beautiful. So Must be Swedish or something. And from New Orleans, the Big Easy. Is that why they call New Orleans the Big Easy? I wonder why. Because I think, because I've lived in France half my life, when I see French words like 𝗏𝗏𝗏, I know there's a big French influence there. Interesting. And Thomas is here from sunny, sweltering Germany, I'm sure. Recovering from Oktoberfest, all that sort of thing. Karen says, my word is play. That's a wonderful word to have as your kind of encapsulating word, Karen. What about you guys? I'll come back to that. Mine is creativity too, at least for this year. Yeah, I adopted creativity a few years ago. And I even created a website called I Create Therefore I Am. I started putting the word creativity in everything I do, along with infinity and the occasional rainbow. And that's fine for me. I actually flipped from saying I create therefore I am to something else, which I won't go into right now, but I like it. I like that idea. If there had to be a verb in I something therefore I am, for me it was creativity, and it kind of still is. So Karen says from Canada says my word is play. Yeah, do you know Xander Phelps, the Playmeister, the fool of play? I'm sure that's his word as well. I got my juggling balls from Xander, and he does wonderful little origami animals that we can do all to get the brain going. He's really into the brain, balancing brain sort of cerebral stuff and physical stuff. Marvelous, great guy, great ideas, great approach to life. And so Desmond says mine is creativity too. So Sana, what is your word? If you had to choose a word to kind of represent your approach to life, what would it be? Thomas, what would your word be as your kind of approach to life? And if you want to translate it into English, that would help. All right, so yeah, I was just saying, so I do concentrate now, although creativity is my word, creativity and productivity are my things. Let me show you something that I've just created right now. And let me ask you a question as well. What are you most pleased with having created this week? And it doesn't matter. This is a creativity show. It's the Infinite Creativity Now Sabsang something or other. So I'm kind of assuming that you've created something and that you'd like to share it. What is it? I've got a feeling Karen is gonna say, I painted another picture and it's in colour, and I'll show you that. In fact, I'll show you it right now, if I can. So here's our Infinite Creativity Now group. Do go there and post your creative stuff anytime you like. Even if I haven't posted a new little article lately, post your latest creation in there if you're not in the Today's the Day group. There we are. So this is Karen's latest creation. This is wonderful, Karen. This is really something. This is really something. I don't know if it's that you've added colour. Something has happened here that has made it. For me, I'm worried that it's the colour. But there's something here that has taken this to another level. You seem to have taken a step up here from the last one that you shared last week, for example. Let's see if I can find it in the group. Just to compare, it's probably not very far down because I haven't really got this going yet. This is a bowl of fruit. There you go. That's not a self-portrait, right? You're not an apple, okay? All right. So, but that isn't what I wanted to show. I wanted to show your last. Look at this. This is fantastic. This is an absolutely beautiful picture of a bird. And here's the thing. As your creativity coach, if you like, I'm going to yell at you, and all of you. And I'll tell you why I'm going to yell at you. Let me read this. No, hang on. Is this it? I'm sure it was here. I'm sure it was here. I'm going to read this anyway. And but there's something I wanted to yell at you for. Can you guess what it is? Okay. There you are again. I'm going to come back to that. Absolutely beautiful. Let me get down to your bird. There's more. Yeah, here we are. So I want to get back to painting. I was told years ago that I didn't need to be able to draw to paint. That turned out to be true, as if I really wanted something to look realistic, all I had to do was trace it. You know, I didn't draw or paint for many years because I didn't think I could draw. And then I discovered abstract art and I thought, yeah, some guys and gals in national galleries have got I'm going to say it, utter crap on the wall, and it's in a national gallery. So if they can do it, I can. And now I produce utter crap and I'm completely happy with it. It's splodges, it's lines, it's goodness knows what. And I love it. You know, the thing about painting is you can get stuff out there. It's the language of colour, it's the language of forms and lines. No words are involved. And this is a much deeper way of expressing ourselves. I've been talking to people about art therapy this week. And should we explain what our abstract pictures without any words in them mean? And I think the answer is absolutely no. We don't have to at all, and maybe we shouldn't. And I think some people might say, yeah, but how will, you know, like the art therapist or someone know what the person is trying to express if they don't ask them? But the thing is, I mean, it can, if they draw something and they try to explain it, that is good. It can be a way of getting them to open up. But fundamentally, the colours that have come out of the person expressing themselves in that way, I think it's probably best if it goes directly into the eyes of and the hearts of the person who's seeing the picture, and something will have passed between the two. It might not be as explicit or even as clear as words, but having said that, the words aren't going to be truly what the person was expressing, because the person was expressing in colour. Let's say it was colour. In colour, not in words. It's like trying to... I wrote a poem this week, and I could tell you what it's about. You know, I could say, well, you know, I had this idea of I don't know, something. I won't tell you something, and then I thought it'd be nice to tie that in with this, and I was feeling kind of that at the time, and it would, for quite a while I'd been wanting to produce something a bit like on this theme, and finally it came together, and it was about a cat and a bicycle and a drain pipe, and I think it came together well. Would you feel moved by my description? Probably not. But if you read the poem, the other words, then those other words would have the effect they have on you. They will be what they are. But trying to describe a poem in other words is utterly, it's almost tragic, I think. So trying to describe a painting in words is similar. Anyway, that's me blah blah blahing. Anyway, I've got people saying hello and people saying it's up to the public to see whatever they see in an abstract, just like we did in that rock that was posted this week. Yeah, so Dorothy probably posted a rock with lots and lots of detail in. And Dorothy always sees all sorts of things in her abstract pictures often. You get close up enough to a rock, it doesn't look like a rock anymore, it's just like an abstract thing. And she sees all sorts of things, you know, birds and angels and toads and anything. So yeah, we were seeing lots of things. And that's fine, I think. I'm getting ahead of myself here. So let me finish with Karen, I'll come back to everyone else. So that's what it is. And I've still got to shout at Karen. A skill, not necessarily a talent. So I found a little watercolour course, decided to give it a go. This is it. Ready? Ready? Here we go. There are errors in both the drawing and the painting, but I have come such a long way I can't help being pleased with myself. I can't help it. I feel like I shouldn't. I feel like it's crap. I want you to know that it's probably crap, but I'm forcing myself to see some merit in it, for crying out loud. Please, can't I just have that? You're imposing all of that upon yourself, Karen. All of that upon yourself. If you hadn't said that you could see errors, and besides, I can't see any anyway. If you hadn't said that, you've, in a way, just as a piece of, just for interest, I don't know what you guys think about this. It ruins not ruins 100%, let's say 80%, it ruins something that someone is offering me in any way whatsoever, such as offering me a picture to look at. It ruins it, it spoils it if they prelude it with an apology for it not being very good. Don't do that. Why would you do that? You know, don't spoil it. Don't say, it's like in Japanese culture, apparently, you're supposed to be modest. So you go to a host's house, for example, for a meal, and they will say, well, I'm sorry, I'm afraid we don't have anything special for you today. And you sit down and it's like this lavish, extravagant bonanza. But they're being modest. But you don't have to brag to not be modest. My approach is, and there's many, many things I could easily apologize for, easily excuse, easily, not feel very good about. I've decided on my approach is just to say, look what I've done now. This is the latest thing I've done. Here it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's kind of my life philosophy. It is what it is. And that can include absolutely amazing or a bit crappy. But I'm not telling you what to think. And don't tell others what to think, because most of the time they think your stuff is great. So why spoil it for them? Yeah. Anyway, I think I've kind of made my point there, at least to myself. So this is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Okay, so let me get back up here. So authenticity. That is such a wonderful word, Sana. I used to cringe at it. It was so sort of self-help, self-dev, spiritual blah blah. I used to cringe at it, and now it's one of my absolute favorite words. Being yourself, not making excuses for who you are, and not even bragging about who you are. I know there's some of these groups you're supposed to shout your merits from the rooftop or into a mirror. That's fine, but authenticity is just be you and know that you're fine. Yeah, know that you are fine. And the crazy, wonderful thing is, people only want the real you. They don't want some fake person, Anyway, yeah, I was going to go into some other things there. They just want you. That's what they want. Creativity is close to my heart too. Fantastic. So, you creative people, tell me the thing that you're pleased with creating this week. And if there's any way that we could see it, then let me know if there's a web link that I could go to. Fabulous. I think she's talking about the bird. There you go. There you go. Very nice picture, Karen. Yeah. I think I'm most proud of the chickadee I painted earlier this week. This one is so wonderful. And I did want to go back to, have I found last week's portrait? There you are, look at that. You painted this, apparently. You painted this. Is that right? Yeah, we were talking about painted cows on the Creativity Sabsang. In my little tourist village, we paint the garbage cans. That's so cool. And in America, in some of my photo masterclass near Chicago, they paint the fire hydrants with funny faces because they've got things on them already that look like eyes and maybe a mouth. They make them funny smiles and stuff. That's great. Here's one I prepared earlier. That's great. I just want to find this. Let me just find this. Can I possibly find this portrait? I don't know where it's gone. Maybe it was before. Anyway. Your colour portrait of this week is wonderful. So keep sending me comments. I'm going to get to them all. What are you pleased with creating this week? And if there's any chance we could see it somewhere, that would be great. So I can't find your other one. This is absolutely wonderful. And there's a funny comment you said, Karen. You said, my hubby is threatening to frame this one. Well, hubby, get your frame kit out. This one has got to go on the wall. The eyes. Is this for this? You're saying the eyes? Those are beautiful. Yeah. I guess. Hello, Dorothy. And I was admiring the shadows in your portrait. Yeah, you know what? That's what's getting more sophisticated. Your shading. It's getting really great. And I think because it's in colour, the shade and the watercolours, the shading is softer. It's a bit less harsh than before, maybe. Bonsoir Sab, bonsoir 𝗪𝗓𝗓, mi amiga en Pérou. J'espère que tu vas bien. Qu'est-ce que tu as créé cette semaine, 𝗪𝗓𝗓? Des photos? Tu as créé des jolies photos, je crois, que j'ai déjà vues. Tu peux nous dire, hein? It's up to the public. Yeah, we've seen that one. Yeah, it is. Of course it is. Yeah, and we can't change what people think. You know, there's lots of different ways of saying that, and it's really important for creative people who sometimes are a bit nervous about putting their stuff out there, which is effectively putting ourselves out there. We get a bit nervous about that. We think we shouldn't. We should be a little bit more modest, like the Japanese, or whatever. But I don't think it's bragging in any way to create and put stuff into the world. And I think I've fought with this a lot. This idea, what the hell am I spending my time? Why am I putting coloured bits of stuff on a piece of board or a piece of canvas? What the hell? You know, you're an adult. Shouldn't you have a sensible, like a responsible job? Shouldn't you be contributing? No, it doesn't work like that. It really doesn't. And it's all in our heads. It's all in our heads. There's plenty of artists out there. I don't think they even ask themselves the question if their so-called job is a valid one. They're artists, that's it. And yet here we are worrying about it. You know, I'm not sure. I haven't gone to this academy. Haven't got this certificate. We've got to get over that. And that isn't just for art, it's for everything. We've just got to get over ourselves. Do what we love doing, get it out there, and be done with it, and move on to the next thing that we're going to love doing and get out there. It's a continuous cycle. And there isn't really much room in that cycle at all for stressing before getting it out there and worrying once it's out there. I've reduced those bits of the cycle down to almost nothing. As soon as I get something out there, I'm already thinking about the next thing I'm going to create. And whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And it's generally good. Beautiful current, looks like a real photo, says 𝗪𝗓𝗓. Yeah. Imperfections add charm. Don't get me started on imperfection. But you're right. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted something that looked exactly the same as the original, well, get a camera, get a good camera out, you know. Yes, says Sana. For your information, I find all the posts by any one person within a group, type their name in the search box. Yeah, I could actually also just click on your name. Would probably be quite helpful. Did you know you could do that? I don't think I've seen this one actually. Don't think I've seen this one at all. Oh, that's taken me over to an article. Okay, that's about, I think we read that last time actually, and it's about your article. This is otherrambles.blogspot.com, and it's about you discovering online meetings. 𝗪𝗓𝗓 says, J'ai fait beaucoup de photos aujourd'hui. Yes, lots and lots of photographs. Well, it's Sunday. Get out there, get those photographs taken. It was a beautiful day today. Let me just show you my local train station. No, my son's local train station. Oh, I've got 1%. So this is the only thing I'm going to show you. And it looked a bit like this. How about that, eh? That's not bad, is it, for my local train station in France? You know, pretty cool. And then a couple of minutes later, check this out. That's like 5 minutes later, I was going home, turned around and bam! Instead of bright orange, it's now pink and purple. The camera changed the colours a bit, but that is pretty amazing. I was going to plug this in just in case. No, I'll let it die. I'll let my... All right, so Karen says, I haven't had a valid job since '74. Good for you. And I'm sure you've given lots of pleasure and stuff to people as well. So let me come back to these. I'm happy, Thomas says, I'm happy I have done at least one shot today while working. Okay. Oh, I wanted to say right now, it is only a real snapshot, no art or something high-level picture, but I shouldn't speak bad about it. Haha, there you go, you see. Excuses straight away. I wanted to say, it's only a real snapshot. I challenge you. I might plug this in. No, I can't. Yes, I can. Maybe. I'm going to challenge you. So this week, your challenge is, and you can tell me next week if you like, your challenge is to post something with no boasting and no excuses. No saying, I'm sorry, this is only a snapshot, or I'm sorry, this isn't very good, but, or I can see all the mistakes already, but I think it's not too bad. Your challenge this week is to get stuff out there and show me, send it to me, post it in my groups or whatever, or links to me, where you get something creative out, where you could feel vulnerable, and do not apologise for 1 second. And don't boast either. Don't say it's good and don't say it's bad. Just find some formula which says, this is something I created this morning. I painted this yesterday. I took this picture of the sunset standing at my local train station. Get something out there like that, and then and see how you feel about it. So it is what it is. Ta-da! And it always makes me happy to see this house. You can see it on the 𝗧𝗏 site. Okay, I'll have a look. Yeah, there's another thing about accepting compliments. That's often very difficult for people to do. And that is another time when we go into this mode where, me? Accept compliments? Yeah, but hang on, I don't deserve them, and they'll have one up on me, and now I'll need to compliment them. It's very difficult to accept compliments. Maybe because we're not used to it, we feel embarrassed. And what do people normally do when they get a compliment? Well, they normally reject it, to be honest. It's the opposite of offering a present to someone and saying it's not very good. People give you a compliment and then you ruin it. You ruin it because it's a pleasure to give compliments. It's a gift. It's a pleasure to say that you like something by someone. If you want to ruin that gift, break it, if you like smash it on the floor and spoil the person's pleasure, then reject it. Reject it by saying, no, it's not very good. Or, oh, I've done much better. Or, well, to be honest, I'm not very happy with it. Don't do this. Don't do this. It's such a waste of love. A waste of love that is coming to you, in which you could just say, oh, thank you. That's all you have to do. Just say thank you. You don't have to compliment them either. Don't get into this like tit for tat. Oh, you compliment me, now I've got to compliment you. I know it seems like it's well-meaning, but I don't think it's that much. I don't think it's that good. Someone gives you something, say thank you, and that's it. And then later on, you'll probably give them something. I'm feeling a bit aggressive tonight. Sorry about that. I just want to chill. It's a Sabsang. It's a Sabsang. I'm not going to bong my drum, break your eardrums, but I think I need to chill out a little bit here. Whoa, says 𝗪𝗓𝗏. Maybe that was my sunset you were saying whoa to. Not my sunset as such. When does one stop giving excuses for his works and start posting relentlessly and unapologetically? Just do what you do. There isn't a rule, is there? There isn't. When it feels right to you, if it feels right. The thing is to feel okay about what you do. I think that's what it comes down to. It's not about I should do this and at some point I hope I'll feel good about it, or I wish I did more of this. Well, if you're not doing more of it, that's because it's not right for you at the moment. So this is kind of my base philosophy on life. Wherever you are now, try and be happy with that. And if you get this urge to get more creative stuff out there, well, do it and then feel happy with that. Or if you feel that you need to chill out or get out of Facebook for a while or whatever it might be, well, do that. The thing is just to feel happy with whatever it is you're doing. That's the thing. The goal is not to ever feel that you'd rather be somewhere else than where you are right now. I think that's one of the ultimate goals in life. Well, I think it's one of the best ways of leading a good life, put it that way. It's not everybody's goal, is it? Being offered a gift and a compliment is two different things. We don't combine them. I'm not quite sure what you mean. You mean like a physical gift? Well, I don't know. For me, a compliment is like a non-physical gift. It's a gift. You're trying to make someone feel happy, which is what you do when you give them a gift as well, I think. So for me, the two are very much the same thing. I mean, if you give someone a physical gift, a book, it's basically saying, I like you, and I want you to know that. I want you to be happy in your life. Here's a book that I think you'll like. So I think they're pretty similar for me. Let me show you some more creative stuff. By the way, I've just finished this article. And it's called, what's it called? It's in the infinity, but I'm doing infinity stuff at the moment. If you go to 𝗏𝗟𝗡𝗂, you'll find that I've got 4 categories. Hang on. I've got 4 categories and for my articles. And to be honest, this is quite new and I haven't done many. And all the ones I'm doing at the moment are going to infinity bites. Creativity bites is about creativity. Productivity bites is about being as creative as we can. In other words, getting the ideas out into the world. Curiosity bites is sadly lacking in content. It's got 1 or 2 articles maybe. And that's about the crazy aspects of life, which I've got loads of material on that. I've got life, haven't I? But I haven't got many articles yet. They're all coming out in infinity bites, which is about life, the universe and everything. So I've got to get some more stuff in the other categories. This is very new, this site. So Infinity Bites 6 is called The Wages of Worry. You might be interested. So if you want to check that out, it's I'll read the first part to you and see if that tantalizes you. Have I made this bigger or not? No, it's on 90%, 100, 110, 125, 150. So this is how it starts. If you want to read the rest, you can go to 𝗏𝗟𝗡𝗂, The Wages of Worry. You're still renting at your age with no savings? What went wrong? And how are you going to survive when you're too old to work? And what about hospital bills? Well, you're in Paris, so there are plenty of pretty bridges you can stake a claim and a cardboard box under. At the risk of sounding flippant, when someone seems to suggest I should be more responsible or need to grow up a bit or get my act together, I can't help pointing out that whatever I've done or however I've acted up until now has got me where I am today. I'll read you a tiny bit more. And the big question is, therefore, how do I feel about that? Am I okay with where I am today? Or am I racked with regrets and bitter lip-gnawing remorse? If it's the latter, then maybe I should have, I don't know, worried more. If, on the other hand, I feel fine, much to those nigglers and Beatle haters' chagrin, I guess I should carry on carrying on just as I am. You know, the Beatles did a song called I Feel Fine, and it didn't sound like that. So anyway, there's a whole art. Should I worry about, here's the headlines, should I worry about worriers? Middle class problems. And the answer is, pick your bridge carefully. Creatively. Pick your bridge creatively. I'll flick away from that. So that's my latest article. I just finished it on 𝗏𝗟𝗡𝗂. Any more comments? No. Right, there's no more comments. So I'm going to talk about some more creatives. Oh my God, I'm on a roll. I called this, I remember that I called this, I gave it a title. Of course, I won't be able to find it now. Well, I will. It's called Creative Self-Promo Special. Creative Self-Promo Special. And that, I called it that. I'm going to pick one thing that I've done in the week and I'm going to call it That's the Special. So in other words, how can we creatively promote ourselves? And I have started something this week, which I think is great for me, works for me. It's my favorite go-to creative, instant creative outlet. And that is putting some words on top of an image. Memes, for example. And I don't know if I've said this before, but you know, new people come and go. My criteria for a cool meme, a good meme. I hate memes. Not I hate them, but when I see, you know, in people's news feeds, I'm talking, this is amongst us creative folks, right? When I see people posting memes that they haven't created themselves, I'm going to not be rude. I'm going to say it interests me less than when I know they've taken the photograph and they've written the words. There's no excuse. There's a lot of words, you know, even just in English, there's a lot of words. And if you add Greek and French and Chinese, there's even more. So I don't think for us creative people, there isn't any excuse to be posting other people's memes. If it's your thing, if it's a hobby, if you like it, sure, of course you can. But what I love is when I know it's somebody's original photograph that they've taken and they put their words on top. That interests me, because I don't want, if I want to commune with the great, you know, the great writers of the past, I'd like to go directly to them in a way, rather than having someone acting as the middleman or woman. Isn't that a shame that a human being is just acting as a kind of vector? That's why I don't quote a lot of people, you know. So many people, they quote, as so-and-so said, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know, you could just look up in the internet famous quotes about creativity and bam, hundreds of them. So, I mean, I love metaphors, I love quotes, and I love anecdotes. But the things I love most are when it's personal, when it happened to you last week and you're telling me now. That's what I love. And I can feel that it's not just made up, or it's one that you always say, that it's literally something, oh my God, yes, just yesterday, do you know what happened? I was in the baker and blah, blah, blah. That's what makes it human. And that's the thing you'll remember. And that's what will attract you to the person who's telling you. You're not just going to be impressed by the number of quotes they can remember. No, it's a completely different level when everything they're saying is coming from them, their experience. So this is what I'm doing. So this is and I recommend you do as well, if you want a quick way to be really creative. Take some creative photographs, you know, as you define them. No one's going to judge you. Slap some of your creative words on top. I mean, I say slap, but take the care that you think it's worth. And there you go. So let me show you what I've done. I'm not advertising my services, I'm showing you what I've done. You know what I do. So I've decided, I do a lot of memes. I've decided I'd never done memes which explicitly advertise my coaching. The closest I got was called Crazy Creativity or something like that. But it was still a tiny bit subtle. This one is in your face. At the bottom is my website. And I have a slogan. And this is what it looks like. From your point of view, see if this could be interesting for anything that you would like to promote. So here's some ducks in a row on a barge that I saw on the River Seine. And this is incredibly original. I'm sure you'll agree. Get your ducks in a row, exclamation mark. I put these little jigsaw pieces. Get creative, get coaching. That's my little slogan. And there's my website address. Let me show you how this theme is developing. That was the last one, so we're going backwards. That is actually, I'll come back to that later. That's not in the series. Growth comes in little steps. Now this isn't particularly clever. There are kind of lines on the wall showing the different levels of the floods in Paris. So this is trying to relate the words on the picture to both the picture and what I want you to do in your life, how I can help you in your life. So that's it. That is it. Voila, you have my idea. So let's see if I succeed. You can decide. I can't decide for you. So there you are, the steps going up the wall. Growth comes in little steps. I find this actually rather weak in terms of, there's nothing clever, you know, there's no sort of clever wordplay, whereas I normally try to do that. But it's supposed to be verging on the ultra simple instead of anything too fancy. There it is, the slogan, get creative, get coaching. Let me know what you think. Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think you could use this in your promotion for yourselves? Looking for clarity? Get creative, get coaching. And looking for clarity, there's a light. Doesn't have to be like the most amazing thing you've ever seen in your entire life. 3 words, it's a question. Questions are good because when people ask you a question, you kind of feel that you're supposed to answer. So you might actually try and answer, am I looking for clarity in my life? Are you looking for clarity in your life? It's a question. In fact, why don't you answer? Could you just write down, on a scale of 1 to 10, like 1 is completely lost in obscurity, haven't got a clue what's going on, and number 10 is everything is utterly clear for you. The path ahead is bright and shining. Having said that, there is a nice, I'm going to say something that I said I wouldn't say. I do like that saying that to get a very, very long way, you only need to be able to see as far as the first step, the next step, the next step. And then when you take that next step, it'll get a bit clearer so you can take the next step. So anyway, I do throw in the odd thing, you know, but I'm not spending my entire life quoting other people. So there's plenty of other people that do that, and I think they do it really well. So I'll leave them to it. Right, so there you go. So please tell me, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of clarity in your life? Don't worry, I'm not going to pitch you afterwards. 1 is utterly, everything is foggy. It could be that you love it being foggy. You're absolutely fine with that. So you could say 1 in the fog and I love it. Or you could say 10, absolutely clear and it's boring as hell. I don't mind. We had Yaruska saying, whoa. Despina saying this and this. So Dorothy, clarity 1 step of the time, 1 step at a time. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, you can't see very far into the future. Even if you think you, even if you pretend you can make a 10-year plan if you like. If that does it for you, it doesn't mean that in 10 years you're going to be there. It doesn't even mean tomorrow is going to work out the way you think it, the way you put it in your plan. So it's all kind of made up, isn't it? Repaint your path. There you go. Three words. Repaint your path. There's some colours on a platform in Paris. Get creative. Get coaching. I thought about putting 3. Get clarity. Get creative. Get coaching. That's an afterthought, but I think it's better if I stick with 2. And then I've got pearls are often hidden in plain sight. Get creative. Get coaching. So this pearl is an amazing tower. It's a chimney, a huge chimney. I mean, the bottom of it there, that kind of little round thing there, that's a door bigger than a man that you could go through. So it's a big chimney. Where is it? Right next to the Eiffel Tower. Does anyone know about it? No. It's hidden in plain sight because everyone's looking at the Eiffel Tower. Oh, and if I say to anyone, oh, you know there's a huge chimney right next to the Eiffel Tower, don't you? And they say, what, on the other side of the river? Or in the next arrondissement, in the next district? No, right next. This is the Eiffel Tower, you see? There. That's it, behind. And that's perfect for coaching, isn't it? That's perfect because so often people have got these amazing talents and they're hidden. They haven't got a clue that they've got them. And that's what we do as coaches is show them what they can't. What's the expression? You can't see the wood for the trees. I've never quite understood that, but I think that's the right expression. So you get the idea. This is how I'm suggesting being. I know some of you do this already. I'm just showing you. I'm doing it, and this is how I'm doing it. Resisting change is exhausting. Get creative, get coaching. So I had these 2 figures wrestling with each other, grappling. As a statue in Paris, because all my stuff is Paris. And I thought, oh, okay, they're fighting. What am I going to do? Am I going to say something about being as strong and never giving up and pushing as much as you can? Or am I going to go the other way and say, resistance is futile. Go with the flow. Be like the river going round the rocks. I got, to be honest, I got a bit messed up in my head because I realised that there are 2 ways of looking at it. You know, force you, never give up, go for it, you can do it. And be like the river, go round the rocks, change yourself, be flexible. And I thought, oh God, if I say one, it's going to completely contradict the other. And I mean, I like both. I like going for it. You know, you've got a project, go for it. And that's one of the things I do is encourage people to get their damn projects finished, at least one. because I know that they'll feel great about it. And to do that, you've got to have a certain, a certain go for it, a certain, no, I'm not doing that. I haven't done my project work today, which is a bit like, not giving up, not wielding, not relenting. And yet, in terms of the stuff that comes at us in life that we can't do anything about, what do we try and resist change, for example? External change that seems to have been imposed upon us. That, how's that going for you? It doesn't really work, does it? So, but if you just sort of look that way instead of that, there's the blockage, there's the wall. But if you just look that way, it might be, open hills and sunshine for all we know. Okay, Thomas has to go now. Have a nice evening, day, night. And you, Thomas, thanks for dropping in. Thanks, 𝗏𝗏. Thanks, 𝗏𝗏. There you go. Be a creative chameleon. Go for it and go with the flow, depending on the time of the day. Go for it and go with the flow, yeah. And then you could say it's up to you. It's up to your sort of creative spirit and how it's feeling. At some points, you're going to go for it. You're not going to give in. You're determined to do it. And at other times, you will be more flowy. You'll be more, wielding when it's pointless to resist and seeing what else is available. And just another couple of these. You see all my shows. Reflect on this sucker. If there was a comma, reflect on this sucker, I'd be calling you a sucker. But there isn't. So I'm saying reflect on me, the sucker, being silly. And you could say reflect on what? Well, you could say reflect on the idea of getting creative and getting coaching, I guess. And of course it's a reflection. So this is my thing. This is what I recommend you might, a fun thing to do. Get a picture of your own and write some words of your own. Link the words to the picture and the message that you're trying to get out to people. I know it's not new, this idea, but I just decided to do it explicitly for the first time. And I'm having fun. So you know the expression, wipe that silly grin off your face, which we say to kids, or they used to say to kids. Well, on the Pont Neuf in Paris, there are 381 of these things. They're called mascarons. I don't know if it's French. I should say mascarons. And they're grimacing like crazy. So I said, wipe that silly grimace off your face. Get creative. Get coaching. So I wanted to share that with you, not for any self-promotional purposes, but just to show you that's one of the major creative initiatives I've had this week, creating about 10 of those so far. And theoretically I could do it with every single day. Okay, right, what about you guys? Have you shown, I like this, so be a creative chameleon. Yeah, I like that. And Dorothy says, how do you put the text on the picture? Well, I use a program called GIMP, G-I-M-P. And it literally just, you have layers. So you've got a picture layer and a text layer. New layer for text. In fact, you just hit the text tool and you draw a kind of, you click and you draw a kind of box and you start typing. And then you can change the size of the type, the font and stuff like that. There is a learning curve. In other words, it's the free equivalent of Photoshop. So that takes a bit of learning. Otherwise, go to Canva. Canva.com. Canva.com. It's amazing. You can do great stuff there. Yeah. Okay, so there we are. I do have some photographs and some text to show you, but how about you? Can you give me some more of your creative stuff? What have you been doing? Do you have any questions about creativity and things like that? I always ask, but I ask too late, so I need to get a very nice big list of questions about creativity, difficulties that you have creating, tips for being creative and productive. Let me know. Let me have a few. Still in lockdown here. I ordered some books. I've got this kind of compulsive personality. Dorothy is saying him. Oh no, GIMP. 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 It's a free version of Photoshop. It's like Photoshop, same sort of thing. I'm sure Photoshop is much more sophisticated, but if you don't need Photoshop, I just use GIMP. And there's a learning curve. In other words, you can't, it depends on what your past, what your experience is with software. If you can just jump in and intuitively understand what to do, or if you need someone to give you a little intro course. Buying books and then don't read them. What's that in relation to? What you've been doing? Oh, me. Maybe. So this week, I've got this kind of compulsive personality, I think. I'm not a fan of labels, so I shouldn't be saying that. But based on experience, such as alcohol, ice cream, crisps, and books, and music, and a new instrument every few years, which I'm going to get frustrated with not being able to play perfectly after about 2.5 days. And what else? Lots of things. But those are the main ones, probably, that I can share. So creating websites. So, I went on Amazon for a book, a really cool book for my mother. My dad likes walking in the hills, and I bought this book for him. It was called Mindful Thoughts for Walkers. And I gave it to him for his birthday. And I regretted it because it was really good. Didn't regret giving it to him. I regretted not having it anymore. So in my mind, I was thinking, I've got to get that again one day. So I went to Amazon to check it out. And immediately I realized that there were a whole load more in the same series, which I'm going to... So I ended up buying about 7 or 8 of them in the same series. And there you go. So let's see if I can show you what it is. So I got one for my mother, and it's called Mindful... You can't see this. It'd be more interesting for you if you could. And it's called Mindful Thoughts. And wait, if you're thinking of going, don't go yet, because I've got something else to tell you for us creative types. Mindful Health, GHTS, for gardeners. And my mum loves pottering. That's not it. Where is it? There we are. And my mum loves pottering around in the garden. So I've got this for her. Shh. If she's watching, I know she sometimes sneaks onto my shows. Mother, are you there? So block your ears. So this is I've sent this off to my mother because she's in lockdown as well, and they're not as young as I am, strangely enough, and they're in the Lake District, which has got quite a lot of tourists and quite a lot of cases of COVID. So those two, my mother and my father, are kind of cloistered in their home. But they've got a cute little garden, and my mum loves gardening. So I thought to balance the sort of the one I got for my dad on walking. My mum can't really walk very well. I got this one for her, Mindful Thoughts for Gardeners. And the nice thing about these books is that they're very sweet, and they have sort of Zen type quotes and mindfulness and things like that. Really, really nice. And I just went nuts because I discovered that there is one of these in the series. Look, there you go. You've got Mindful Thoughts for Gardeners, for Walkers. Those are the two that I've got my parents. For makers, it's people who make things with their hands. Ways of looking at how you work with things, that the deeper meaning of touching things and being in contact with natural substances. I'm not talking about cannabis or anything, or working with the earth and the wood and things like that. I don't know if metal would fall into that. That's cool. Then I saw there was one for cyclists, not really my thing. Saw there was one for cooks, not really my thing. I can boil an egg. I can't guarantee how hard it'll be though. But there's Mindful Thoughts for artists, mindful thoughts for city dwellers, mindful thoughts for at home. And there were another couple of cool ones as well. And I got them. I got them. So I am going to hit you guys with some of these things from these little books, you know. I'm kind of sharing my life here. So it'll be on the Sunday one. It'll definitely be on the Thursday show for writing, for words. And yeah, it'll be cool. You need to be drunk or super depressed to be creative, myth or not. How interesting. I saw the movie of Van Gogh last night. The Americans say Van Gogh last night, and Van Gogh actually said it something completely differently. Half of it because I hated it, but he was a heavy drinker and super depressed. I don't know if I've seen it. I saw an amazing one. Have I got it here? 1 second. A great one called Jackson Pollock. This is a great movie, and it's exactly the same sort of thing. His struggles, his genius, and his drinking. You need to be drunk or super depressed to be creative, myth or not. Yeah, well, you're not. You're myth, says Dorothy. Yeah, well, I would say that I didn't think it was true when I was heavily into drinking. I think I was creative despite drinking, but at times I kidded myself that I was creative because I was in an altered state of mind or out of my mind. I mean, I wasn't creative when I was like doing, you know, stupid stuff like just wandering the streets and coming back in the middle of the night in a state. That wasn't being creative, that was being destructive. But I managed to produce stuff. I could ask myself how much more I would have produced, like over, 30 years, I don't know. How much more would I have produced if I hadn't been in that state? But I think I needed to live that in order to, well, for a start, to be who I am today. Of course I did. I'd have been someone else. I'd have been the same person, but I wouldn't have had the same experience to look back on. And that is what has made me. You know, I am what I am, and I don't ever want to regret what I am. So if you ask me if I wanted to change my life, I would say no. And the reason for that is because I don't want to be anything other than I am, what I am now, what I seem to be. I don't want to lose any of my memories, and I could easily have had other ones, but I didn't. So, you know, go with the flow. I am what I am. It is what it is. As I said right at the beginning, this is one of my main objectives in life, is to be able to say, you know, I'm okay with where I am. I'm okay. I like it. I don't need to change anything. Which again doesn't mean that you can't have plans and crazy projects and, you know, get excited about the future. Of course you can. I think that's one of the things that drives us. So I'm really excited about this little series that's coming, because I love all those sort of quotes and stuff, you know, that come from the wise thinkers of the past. It's like this little book I've got here, Mindfulness for Every Day. I'll just open one at random just for fun and see what it says. Oh, it's a big one. How big is it? It's that big. It's that big. And I'll read it to you. Get rid of Amazon. Now, if you're sitting comfortably, boys and girls, I'll begin. And there's a picture. This reminds me of when I was a kid, and you know, I'd show my mum. In Winnie the Pooh, I wanted to see every one of those little black and white sketches. You know, when the picture came, there's a picture, and she'd show it to me. I'd look at it. I'd say, yeah, okay, and then she'd carry on. But this is the picture, boys and girls. There it is, and it's the tree. Looks like spring, summer, autumn, winter. Isn't that beautiful? And what it says is, the richness of the natural world is like food for our senses. Embrace your environment. Dorothy could tell us a thing or two about that. In spring, focus. Would it help if you can see the book? Does that make it more like story time? I should dim the lights. Put on some incense. Light some incense. In spring, Focus on the delicate perfume of a flower or the scent of newly cut grass. Choose a tree to observe over the days of summer and enjoy its luscious greenery and majesty as it flourishes. Experience nature in autumn by going out and walking amongst fallen leaves. Focus on their colour, their texture, and the sound as you swoosh through them. This was, and I think still is, one of my favourite all-time activities, is swooshing through leaves with when they're crispy and dry. Early morning frosts and mist can transform the world around you in winter. Take a moment to admire the beauty that cold temperatures have created. I'll show you the picture again. Oh, I'm getting tired. Is it? Oh my goodness. How many of you are yawning right now? Hands up if you yawned with me. So that was nice, wasn't it? Appreciate the seasons. I love seasons, and I love the fact that I live in a country that has them. Some don't. It's like, you know, some countries it's like summer, winter, or winter, 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 summer, winter, 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 winter. I wanted to show you some of my pictures from this week. Yeah, so on that, 𝗏𝗏, super depressed to be creative. I don't know about that, because it's going to be depressing stuff, isn't it? You know, I mean, some of the stuff I feel is my strongest stuff is both created in times of distress and not particularly uplifting. Having said that, I felt I was sometimes at my most creative in that state, but having said that, I wasn't often not in that state. So, you know, I had fallow periods sometimes when things weren't that bad. So in my head there was kind of this idea that at least when I'm, you know, depressed or whatever, or, you know, in a state, or I've just split up with someone, at least I can get some poems out of it. So I don't know if that's twisted, you know. Would I want my life to be perfect if it meant I didn't really produce much creative stuff? And I'd say no, I don't think I would. But I don't want to have to be unhappy to be creative. And I think right now I've come through enough stuff that I can enjoy being reasonably happy and creating a lot. And the creating a lot is making me happy. It's not that I'm creating in order to stop being sad. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But I'm not saying that you can always do that just like that. I think you have to go through stuff. You have to go through stuff to come out the other side, to have that wealth of experience to draw on and mix with new experiences coming in. Right, I wanted to show you, I'll show you some pictures. I'll show you my latest ones. How are we doing for time? Okay, we've been going for an hour and a little bit. So I'll just show you my latest pictures. These are my latest 4. And so you're adorable. Just when you put down your guard, you bring it back on with your humour. Last time I said I love you was in August. It took me a while. Huh? So I protect myself by throwing something humorous in, do I? Well, I'll take your word for it. Okay, so here is my latest photos, and then that'll probably be fine for today if I just look at these. So I do talk about these on Tuesday in the photo show in a little bit more depth. This one I loved because it was so funny. I just came out of my sun station in the suburbs of Paris and saw these 2 figures, and I had this kind of fantasy in my head that there must be painters of the little men or people in all the different positions, and therefore they must have models to model those positions for all of these little people. So I imagine this one with someone, a model with their arms out, their arms getting really sore, and the painter saying, just hold on a bit longer. And then this one with standing on one leg. I think it's to make it look like they're walking. You can't see. This is embarrassing. There it is. I hope I wasn't talking about nothing for too long. So yeah, this idea that there must obviously be artists who paint these figures, because it's art, right? Kind of, and they're models. And then I played around with it. There's a train, so you can see it's a train station. The sign says don't be a dickhead, basically. Walk on the rails. Yeah, so I like that. I love rust as well. Rust is going to be a topic soon in the Tuesday challenge in the smartphone photography group. This was the next one. This is a king, and he's a rather rambunctious, bawdy king, because he rather liked the ladies, and he was called le vert galant, which means the gallant green. Green relates to vivacity, liveliness, and galant, gallant. In English it's rather positive. You know, you're gallant, you're a gentleman towards the ladies, but in French it's more along the lines of ladies' man, running around with the ladies. And he's a king. I think this statue, I didn't mention this anywhere, but I think this statue caused a bit of an uproar because it's a king without the head covered. And that was pretty unusual, if not unheard of. And there he is, he's got a bare head, I think. I think that was the story I heard. So, and it's on the island, it's on the 𝗏𝗏𝙗𝗔𝗏, right on the end. And here are all of those funny faces. I showed you a picture earlier. There are all those funny faces on the edge of this, it's kind of a bridge and its supporting area. All those funny faces. Those funny faces, it's hard to see there, are actually gods of the forests and the fields, and satyrs and sylvans. There's all sorts of strange mythical creatures that run around forests and woods, and half gods and helpers of gods and things like that, from Greek and Roman mythology. So, and behind, on the left, you can see La Samaritaine, which was this huge department store. I used to go in there for my paints like decades ago, and it closed, and it's been closed for so long, many, many years. I think it's on the point of opening again. And it had this slightly lesser known viewpoint. You can see on the top there's that round thing. That was a place you could actually go onto the roof. One of the highlights of going into this department store, splendid department store, was that you could go up onto the roof and get a really unusual and not very well known vantage point of Paris, really close to the island. It's pretty cool. This was a funny one, and this was me wandering around along the banks of the Seine, and you can see this is under an arch. It's Le Pont Neuf, it's the same one I think that we just looked at. And in the distance you can see some other arches of the next bridge. And there were just these tons of books. And I can't work it out because I've never seen them there before, and yet there's too many for them to live there. I don't think the person who's selling them, if they're selling them, would they leave them there all night, or would they sleep in amongst them? Or I don't know, where did they get them from? There's all these questions, and there wasn't anybody there. So it was really, really weird. Because I mean, officially, you're not allowed to just set up in the middle of, the walk on the river. This takes up about half of it. You just can't do it. You're not allowed to. And also you're blatantly selling without a license, of course. So I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get it. So that's what makes it interesting. And I wrote a corresponding article about it here, which you can read if you like, all based on the name of this book here. So that was what inspired me. What inspires you? What is it that triggers an idea? I wake up each morning and I almost immediately do my Paris photo chronicle of the day. It's a surprise every day. I have no idea even what photograph I'm going to choose, and certainly not what words are going to come out. I have no idea. It's like I'm going to a cinema and I've been blindfolded. I'm led by someone. The only time they let me open my eyes is when I'm sitting in the cinema and I take the blindfold off and I start watching the film. That's what it's like when I sit down every morning to write, I look, the blindfold comes off, I choose the photograph, and I wait to see what happens. And the film the film is running, you know, the projector's running, things will happen. I just haven't got a clue what. So I look at the photograph, get an idea. I will get an idea. I'll start writing. Da-da-dum, da-dum, comes out, play with it, da-da-da-da, boom, finished, off it goes. That was the film. That was the text. And I then decide whether I thought it was quite a good text. I look back on it later and I can say, you know, oh, that's quite a good film actually. Yeah, it was quite good. I didn't know what to expect. It was a bit strange at first, but by the end it had a really satisfying ending. That's what my texts are like. I look back on them as a stranger, like someone who doesn't know who wrote them. And I kind of think, wow, where the hell did that come from? What about you? Do you have a daily creative ritual? I think you should. Not just to be like me, but to get stuff out there on a regular basis. Because getting stuff out there on a regular basis, it feels great, I promise you. So do you have, you can answer me this before we go, before we say bye-bye. There's a few of you watching this. I'd like you to tell me, do you have a ritual linked to creativity? And if so, what is it? Do you write first thing in the morning? Do you paint last thing at night? Do you take a photograph every lunch break? What is it? What do you do? Do you embroider every Sunday afternoon? Do you get together with a group of friends and do some sort of improvisational theatre on a Saturday afternoon? Do you have a regular creative outlet? Because this is my mission in life, to get everyone to have a regular creative outlet. I keep looking down at my comments to see if there's any more, and I just keep finding, "Oh Sab, you're adorable." So actually, I've changed my mind. Don't write any more. I'll just stick with that. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I do like that though. "Oh Sab, you're adorable." Yeah, you can come again. Then there's this one. And this happened. When she comes, I'll turn a blind eye, I'll gaze to the sky, feigning indifference, chronically shy. What took you so long? I've danced to your song. Waiting in vain, I've tried to be strong. Alone in the cold, I've loved and grown old, for a maiden like you, so fair and so bold. Feel the heat of my heart, hear it flutter and start. You've left it too late, it's falling apart. Now you shimmer in light, feathers seagull white, willing me to fly on a dark Sen night. Shall I soar with the leaves, flitting like thieves, or float to the ocean as the river grieves when she comes? And I wrote that less than a day ago, in the middle of the night, between Saturday and Sunday, 21st and 22nd of November 2020. I love this photo of the seagull and the text. I might as well read the Livingstone Seagull again. I've got to read that again, you know, it's such a classic. I had an old copy, I don't have it anymore. Such a lovely, I'm going to buy that. I'm going to buy it. And I'm going to read the Little Prince as well, Le Petit Prince. I said I would, I threatened to, I know I should. And so I'm going to read that. I'm going to get Jonathan Livingstone Seagull again. And that'll be a good thing. So that is pretty much it. There were a couple more probably you haven't seen from this one, which I hadn't finished all of it. So that is the last chapter, which has been completed. And there's more seagulls. How about that? So I can just talk about the last three from the last 7 days. So the last three, probably hadn't had this one the last time we talked, last Sunday Sabsang. This one, hello. This one is me reflecting me in a kettle, looking rather mischievous. And this is more of those funny faces that you saw in the memes, in a kind of green tone there. These are seagulls, not in flight this time, but just kind of doing seagully things. And let me read what I wrote about that, because it came out in a kind of fun way, I think. A glimpse... No, that's not what I want to read. I want to read the seagulls thing. Ah, what to do on a drab, doughy Thursday in Paris. Hey, you guys, want to go hang out down by the river? I know this really cool wall. We can stand on it and look at stuff and everything. No way! Where's that, kiddo? I've been wanting to find a cool wall in this town for ages. Yahweh! And it's only a couple of k's from here, as the bird flies. Ha ha! Get your wings out of your butts and let's do this thing. Later that same day. Wow, this is cool, just standing here and... Hey, who wants to poop? Let's poop! Last to poop's a pigeon. That'll go nicely with their baguette and bleeding Bordeaux. This is my city. The city I adopted, or which adopted me. I'm never quite sure these days. That's looking across to the bridge, which is just opposite or in between St-Michel and Châtelet, I think. And there's the pigeons, and there's the Paris places, and some of the cafes that I might go in from time to time. And this is my Paris. This is my life. 𝗏𝗏 says good night. Adorable Sab, thank you for inspiring all of us. Good night to you too. And I'm also going to stop now. It's been so nice, you guys, having your interaction. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for contributing. Thank you for sharing your creativity when you did, when you can. It's most Sundays, you know, I plan it to be every Sunday. We share our creativity and we talk about creativity and light stuff and deep and meaningful stuff. It doesn't matter, whatever comes up, in the name of being as creative as we can and sharing that creativity to make our lives and other people's lives as joyful and rich as possible. If you want to ask me any questions about creativity or producing stuff, if you're a little frustrated about how much you're able to create or produce for any reason, then please send me those questions, because I would love to tackle them, give you some ideas, you know, see what's going on. Because there are many, many reasons why people aren't as creative and productive as they would like to be. And there are many ways of getting over those hurdles. That's what I do a lot of the time in my life, is get over them myself and also help others to get over those hurdles as well, and to just be as creative as they can. I think we're meant to be creative. We're meant to be creative beings. It's kind of it's in our makeup. We can't help it, and yet it gets smothered sometimes. And if we can unsmother it, suddenly things look much, much, much brighter from that point of view, knowing that we can create whatever we like. Dorothy says good night. Karen says, I, as you know, belong to a Facebook page that has me creating a self-portrait from a mirror image on Sundays. I also belong to a library art group that meet once a month, these days on Zoom. Great. We try to create something while we are together. That's great. When you say create a library art group, okay, so you're painting in a library, I suppose. That's great. Maybe you have models, do you? That's good, Karen. I think that's fantastic. That's really great. I think you're on a great path there. Keep it up. Keep it up. You might be interested in my masterclass, my next one, which is starting in January. It's called Infinite Creativity Now Masterclass. You bring your project, whatever it is, a creative project, which is doable, a challenge, but doable in 9 weeks. And everybody brings their own different creative project, and we go through it together, and we talk about creativity, productivity, but through videos and stuff like that. So that's going to be fun. That's it. I haven't prepared a word from my sponsors yet. Actually, I should do that. Let me. So my sponsors are me. I'll just give you a couple of addresses which you can go to if you'd like to. Thanks for watching, and you can go to you go to Infinite Creativity now, and you will find my latest masterclasses and my Paris retreats, which I'm planning for next year. Paris retreats. The first one will probably be in the summer, I hope, cross my fingers. The next creative masterclass, which I'm redoing the explanatory page for, so it's going to be pretty amazing. It's starting in January. Starts in January, and there will probably be a 5-day challenge before that to get you in the mood. And finally, if you would like to get my newsletter, which comes out every now and then, hopefully weekly or more, but sometimes it isn't, you can go to infinitecreativitynow.com/newsletter, and you can get that. And I also, under all my postings on Facebook, you can go to my Patreon page, which is a way of becoming a sponsor of mine, where you become a kind of part of the inner circle, and for anything from, you're kind of sponsoring me in a way, but you get goodies as well. So and it can, the first level is just €3, something like that, and then you can contribute as much as you would like to be compensated. So that's it, everyone. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have lovely end of Sundays, whenever that may be. For me, it's now, and I can't wait to see you on any of my next things. My next thing is tomorrow. It's a Zoom call, so you come on and show your face, and you just say what cool thing you're planning on doing in the coming week. Simple as that. You can just come and say that and go, or you can stay and listen to others. It's nice if you listen to others as well. And on the Friday, we do the opposite. It's a Zoom call. You come on, show your face, and you say what you're pleased with having done. And then on Tuesday, it's the smartphone photography show. Thursday, it's the creative writing show. And so on. It just never stops. It's wonderful, isn't it? Creativity, infinite creativity, has no limits. But I'm going to put a limit on this one and say bye-bye and wish you good night.